A short while ago, the forested hills of Assagai in KwaZulu-Natal came alive as hordes of interior decorators, designers, landscapers, workmen, furniture removers, painters, plasterers and picture hangers descended upon Queensbridge Estate for the 6th Durban Decorators on Display event. While this year's show called on the talents of over 40 designers, landscapers and shop owners, the exhibition had its beginnings under much humbler circumstances.
Initially, Migs did it as a school fundraiser, and the idea was to take one of Durban's old homes and transform it to raise money for charity and for the school. And it consisted of basically an old house that needed to be renovated, which ended up being quite an expensive exercise for the designers involved, and each designer did a room.
Having held the event with considerable success in some of Durban's most stately old homes, Audacia Manor in Morningside, Woodley House, Duodone in Northridge Road and Upton Hall in Eastbourne Road, the decision was made to expand the show in order to appeal to more people and to involve more designers. The logical choice was to make over an entire new development.
Last year we were approached by developers to actually make over an entire development where each person did a different unit. Now the big difference, particularly as a designer for me there, is that you are now working with a clean slate, so the costs are not so prohibitive because you're not looking at having to renovate and then decorate.
Jennifer and I were brought to this estate by David Jones of Acres and the Hillcrest Kloof franchises, and it has that wow factor in that it has this gorgeous country feel, wraparound verandas, a real sort of colonial country feel, a day out in the country.
The decision to move the event into a development is something that has sat well with both the public and the interior designers involved in the show since its transformation. Part of the attraction of having a whole house as your canvas is that it truly frees up the designers and allows them to showcase their work in a unique setting.
It makes a real designer showcase rather than just a home makeover. The designers working on new units, being able to give their own design input in terms of kitchens, paint, skirtings, you name it. A lot of the finishes in the units the designers are involved in, so it becomes a lot more of a showcase of what their talent is really all about.
This is absolutely the right platform. I think from an overall perspective, a decor show is a very little thing, it's a shell. I find that the work involved is exactly the same. So for me to be able to platform myself in an exhibition like this is absolutely awesome.
Another part of the attraction, at least for the designers, is that it is one of the few times that they get to work without a client brief and very few restrictions in terms of what they can do and what they bring into the homes.
Durban Decorators on Display has become a vehicle, as far as I'm concerned, where designers are really able to show what they do. First of all, from the aspect that one is able to create a complete overall impact in terms of how a home can feel and how you can create flow through the home and how different aspects of design can be implemented into a home, whereas a 3x2 stand on a normal show also doesn't really allow you to do that.
It's the one time that I can let them do whatever they want to do. So they basically showcase exactly what they want the public to see them capable of. So they're not having a client telling them what they would like. They actually basically are doing to their full extent what they'd like the public to see.
For the public, the attraction of the show is threefold. Firstly, they get to see new houses completely done up from top to bottom, which allows them to appreciate each designer's vision and gauge their ability or suitability to their own needs in a much more effective way. Secondly, everything in the show, including the homes themselves and the services of the designers, are for sale. So whether they're in the market for a new home or if they're looking for a designer to tackle a job they have in mind, they can find everything they're looking for in one place. And thirdly, there are a host of other activities on offer for them to enjoy, from daily talks by leading industry experts to hands-on meetings with designers and landscapers, to restaurants and even child-minding facilities. This year's show offered a wealth of talent displayed in a truly unique KZN setting.
There are 9 units for sale. None of them have been sold as yet. They're all in the 2 mil region. Each one has been done by an interior designer. 1 or 2 have been divided so that there may be 5 different interior designers in one unit, because there are 3 bedrooms upstairs, 1 downstairs, 2 lounges, and they're able to have divided the houses.
What we really liked was the original architecture of Queensbridge, whereas a lot of developments nowadays are either Bali style or Tuscan style. This had a very unique KZN flavour. The houses are fashioned on old Natal colonial farmhouses and have quaint little aspects of farmhouses, like the windows that open out of the doors, and it really just added a lovely flavour to it.
Each designer was free to do whatever he or she wanted in their space, which led to many unique and interesting settings. The one thing that they all agreed on was that it was important to keep the architecture of the estate in mind when creating their concepts.
I just tried to keep the whole theme and the flow of the architecture and the time period and the style in the garden to tie with the house, and likewise if you go into the house you'll see the interior decorating lends itself and you've got this uniform flow throughout the property. It's imperative to liaise with the interior decorator so you get that flow. You don't want something which is totally segmented. You don't want to have 2 different themes which clash and are not complementary. It segments everything. Uniformity and flow is key.
Each home, each room, each garden at this year's Durban Decorators on display was a unique and a true demonstration of the designer's imagination and abilities. There were some themes, some colors and textures, some styles and ideas that permeated the event, creating a feeling of continuity as one moved through from house to house.
There's a big move towards using French-styled pieces, and there are quite a few of the designers who've gone for that type of look. Also the whitewashing of furniture, softer feels in rooms, some interesting use of colours on the walls, which I think has really created a nice effect. The contemporary feel is still coming through quite strongly, and I think that some of the designers have really used them in the right kind of spaces.
I think because it's got this wonderful country feel, most of them have gone for that indoor-outdoor look, where they brought the garden into the home. A lot of them have gone for greens, lots of lovely wood, their colours are neutral, yeah, so that outdoor lifestyle that we South Africans live mostly, and particularly in Natal because we've got such stunning winter weather. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's back to basics and outdoor feel.
The colours that are very important at the moment are a chocolate brown, a lovely charcoal, the beautiful yellows, and if you think about that, that's very much our earthy colours. It's very much our African colours. And with this kind of scheme, I just felt that it was so perfect to use those colours and try and keep a fairly monochromatic colour scheme just with those 3 colours.
Having successfully made the transition from a single home to a whole development, the organisers are looking at new ways to improve the show and bring its appeal to more people each year.
We'd love to take it elsewhere. We have wonderful contacts in the Pretoria area, so possibly Pretoria Midrand area, Irene maybe, and Cape Town, because they've also got beautiful big old houses or lots of developments happening, so we've got the choice of both.
Durban Decorators on display will definitely be held again next year, although no one can say exactly where yet. So keep an eye out for it if you are looking for new ideas and fresh inspiration for your home.
I think it's been a fantastic show because you're also seeing the versatility of all the different decorators and stylists. And I think to me that is very important. It's important for the public. They need to come, they need to get different ideas. They need to see who are the big kids on the block, and they need to know what they're looking for.